In carrying out this assignment, the committee convened a stakeholders forum which enabled Nigerians to make substantial input into the agenda. The first peoples-driven approach is central to and reflects our belief that citizens' engagement is the fulcrum of representative democracy. It is also the product of the Openness Initiative, which places high premium on regular, meaningful, and productive engagement with the citizens. I'm delighted to report that the committee has completed its assignments, and we are all enjoying to go through it to ensure that it embodies and meets our commitment to our people. Similarly, we set up several ad hoc committees to address matters of national importance. This was done before the constitution of our standing committees. The ad hoc committees worked all through the recess in their different areas of mandate, and I can report that they have made tremendous progress in the various tasks assigned to them. Let me use this opportunity to sincerely thank members of these committees for the sacrifice, diligence, commitment, and dedication that they brought to these important assignments. I'm aware that most of the ad hoc committees are yet to conclude their reports. In this light and development, I wish to direct that all ad hoc committees should conclude their assignments and submit their reports on or before 3rd of October 2023. Accordingly, all ad hoc committees shall cease to exist on October 3rd, 2023. However, in an event that any ad hoc committee is unable to conclude its assignment on this date, such tasks shall be yielded to the relevant standing committees of the House. My dear colleagues, permit me to express my displeasure at the failure of some state caucuses to send their nominations for membership of the standing committees. This is in spite of all pleas made to us before our recess and assurances received from the state caucuses. As a result, therefore, we are yet to fully populate the standing committees of the House. Consequently, the House leadership has resolved to make such nominations for states who fail to do so by Thursday, 28 September 2023. As we make these nominations, kindly be informed of the creation of 3 additional committees. State and Local Government Committee, Traditional Institutions, and Petroleum Resources Training Fund. This brings the total of our House committees to 137. We equally created 13 more parliamentary friendship groups to facilitate and deepen our capacity development and peer learning. The leadership of the House has considered that in order to strengthen the capacity of the House, only chairmen and deputies of parliamentary friendship groups will constitute membership of the committees on foreign affairs and diaspora. This is done to allow the leaders of the groups to gain some insight into the management of the groups from the foreign affairs and diaspora committees. Honorable colleagues, it is important to emphasize that for the first time in the House of Representatives, a committee on monitoring and evaluation was created to supervise the activities of the standing committees and advise the leadership on the performance of the committees. This is in line with our avowed commitment to service delivery. Committees that fail to meet the benchmarks will be reconstituted. In the same vein, the leadership has also, for the first time, created a committee on the implementation of the legislative agenda to ensure adherence and full compliance to the agenda in our quest to serve Nigerians. In view of the premium this House has placed on capacity building, the leadership has concluded arrangement with the National Institute of Legislative Studies to organize leadership program for chairmen and deputies of the standing committees of the House. In furtherance of our efforts to mitigate the capacity gaps of the House. I have met with development partners and donor agencies during the recess with the view to providing interventions for capacity building for members and staff of the House of Representatives. The outcome of the meeting was the imperative to set up a programs coordinating unit in the Speaker's office. This unit is expected to harmonize and coordinate the capacity development drive of the House. In setting about this task, all interventions and technical support from donor agencies, development partners, and CSOs will now be centralized and channeled through this unit. The essence is to track, monitor, and coordinate these interventions to ensure that they meet the right standards, protect the image of the House, and promote national security. Henceforth, committees, staff development partners, donor agencies, and CSOs in the House of Representatives will be mandatorily required to route such interventions through this unit. I need also to remind you of the enormous challenges confronting our nation at this time. There are challenges that will engage our attention in the coming days and months. National security remains precarious, even in the face of numerous successes recorded by our gallant security personnel. Only a few days ago, the nation was struck by the gruesome murder of a joint team of security personnel in Ihime Mbano of Imo State. A similar sad incident happened in Shiroro local government area of Niger State, when scores of soldiers were ambushed and gruesomely murdered by terrorists. Sadly, some female students of the Federal University Gusau were abducted by terrorists, while there were reports of travelers being kidnapped along the Opi-Enugu road. These and so many are some of the security challenges that bedevil this country, and we need to take proactive measures to ensure that we bring them to an end. Furthermore, Superintendent Opolawo Abashim, Divisional Police Officer in the local government area of Rivers State, was brutally murdered by deadly cultists. In Zaria, Kaduna State, the central mosque collapsed, resulting in fatalities, while residents of Trade, Mo Estate in Abuja, suffered extensive losses owing to a devastating perennial flood. There was equally distressing reports of attacks in communities in Plateau State. These are just a few examples of what happened, as I believe some of you may have one experience or the other. While we mourn the loss of fellow citizens who had to pay the supreme price in the line of duty, we must condemn these attacks on the state and citizens in the strongest terms. However, our best response will be the deployment of our legislative powers and instruments to ensure the security of life and property across the country. Honorable colleagues, our economic challenges remain as daunting as they were before the recess. The country is challenged on several economic fronts. Cost of living crisis occasioned by high cost of energy, cost of food is skyrocketing daily. Lack of livable wages, the negative effects of the unpredictable and fluctuating foreign exchange rates, a disappearing middle class, and a host of other issues. When people are hungry and despondent, what is needed is a leadership with a clear vision, a leadership that on a daily basis demonstrates its commitments and capacity to tackle the challenges at hand. A leadership that should be innovative in providing short and long-term solutions. This is what Nigeria needs at this time, and as representatives of the people, we must rise up to these very occasions. While the executive arm of government is engaging the citizens and trying to work out strategies to tackle the hardship in the country, Our legislative actions must therefore be directed by a clear, robust vision aimed at supporting the executive in restoring our citizens on the path of prosperity. We must deploy the necessary legislative instruments to create jobs, ensure payment of living wages in the civil service, pull Nigerians out of poverty, address the prevailing infrastructural deficit, rid the country of crippling insurgency, ensure the security of lives and property, and affordable functional education so that no child is left behind. On account of these economic challenges, the organized labor under the aegis of Nigerian Labour Congress seems to have lost patience with the painstaking effort of the government to plan and provide sustainable minimum wage and palliatives to citizens. The organized labor, it appears, would embark on a nationwide strike by this midnight, following the expiration of a 21 days ultimatum issued to government. As the people's representatives, we feel and equally share in the pains of our people at these very difficult times. However, I would like to appeal to the Nigerian Labour Congress to consider the various actions being taken by the federal government to alleviate the current hardship faced by Nigerians. As promised earlier, this House remains committed to getting a survival wage to all Nigerian workers. The 10th House had assured Nigerians there would be interfacing between the organized labor and the government to quickly work out a realistic new national minimum wage. And as such, other palliatives to enable citizens cope with the economic impact of fuel subsidy removal, the downward fall of the naira to the dollar, skyrocketing cost of food, and general high cost of living in the country. It is in our considered opinion that embarking on a nationwide strike at this point will only aggravate an already bad situation. I therefore urge the leadership of labor unions to give us the benefit of doubt and suspend any planned strike action while we engage the executive. Honorable colleagues, it has not been entirely woes and gloom for our nation, as we have been presented with opportunities and prospects to turn the tide around. Only recently, His Excellency President Ahmed Tinubu recorded a huge diplomatic and economic breakthrough with the United Arab Emirates, which will see the resumption of issuance of visa to Nigerians by the UAE and the return of Emirates Airlines to Nigerian skies. We equally recorded some major economic agreements in India, just as we had a productive outing at the recently concluded 78th General Assembly of the United Nations. In the coming days, the executive arm of government is expected to present a 2023 supplementary appropriation bill, as well as the 2024 appropriation bill to this honorable House. It is expected that the time to consider these bills will be short, but we must roll up our sleeves and get to work immediately and ensure the speedy consideration of these bills that will encapsulate the yearnings of the people, while we'll maintain the tradition established by the 9th House in terms of speedy consideration of the appropriation bills. We must diligently consider the bills to ensure that they meet the needs of our constituents. We have to put extra work hours to ensure that the budget is passed in good time to enable its implementation from the first day of 2024. Our nation, and indeed the 10th House of the people, does not have the luxury of time in the face of profound national challenges. We must therefore do everything within our powers to champion causes towards addressing the yearnings of our people. On this score, our goals are clear. Our determinations are unrivaled. We must key into the legislative agenda of this House as a roadmap towards navigating our numerous challenges. Our bills, motions, resolutions, actions, and more should mirror the legislative agenda being a joint product between the House and the citizens. Government has been fully formed with the inauguration of ministers by Mr. President, while committees have been constituted in the two chambers of the National Assembly. We have no time to spare in delivering results to our people. Committees must actively engage MDAs to ensure optimal service delivery in accordance with legislations passed by the National Assembly. And in the discharge of our committee assignment and oversight, you must be guided by established legislative ethics and standing orders of the House. Finally, honorable colleagues, let us approach this new session with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication. Our nation looks for us for leadership, and it is our duty to rise to the occasion. Together, let us work tirelessly towards building a better future for our people, guided by the principles of justice, equality, and progress. We have set legislative agenda which will act as the barometer to measure our legislative actions. It is time to walk the talk. Thank you, and may we have a productive and successful sessions ahead. Thank you, honorable colleagues. Any member who has not been sworn may please come forward for the administration of oaths. Any member?
Please repeat after me. Oath of allegiance. I do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. Oath of a member of the House of Representatives. I do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as a member of the House of Representatives, I will perform my functions honestly to the best of my ability.
Honorable colleagues, please take your seats, please.
In accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, and the rules of the House, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directives of the principles of state policy, contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the 5th Schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Honorable colleagues, we have two announcements. Honorable colleagues, we have some announcements. The first one is from our honorable colleague, Honorable Awalu Abdu Gwalabe, who wishes to announce to honorable colleagues the conferment of an honorary doctorate degree, and his message reads as follows. I, Honorable Dr. Awalu Gwalabe, wish to inform the House that I have been conferred with an honorary doctorate degree from a recognized ISCG University in Benin Republic, school recognized by NUC and Ministry of Education of Nigeria. Signed, Honorable Dr. Awalu Abdu Gwalabe. Our second announcement.
Announce, please.
Our second announcement is from Right Honorable Ibrahim Ali Halims, the Deputy Majority Leader of the House, and his message reads as follows. Right Honorable Speaker, kindly inform all members that the wedding of my son, Abdullah Ibrahim, takes place 30th of September 2023 at Lafia, Nasarawa State at 11:30 a.m. at MS Palace Mosque, Lafia. You are all kindly invited, honorable colleagues. Signed, Honorable Abdullahi Halims. The next announcement is from Dr. Yad Anzaria, the Clerk of the House, and his message reads as follows. This is to inform all members of the House Committee on Selection that an emergency meeting is slated as follows. Today, 26 September 2023, time 3 p.m., venue room 301, House of Representatives, New Wing. Announcer, the clerk. We have an announcement from Honorable Barrister Mirengwa Boniface Sunday, and his announcement reads as follows. The Right Honorable Speaker, notification of the death of Honorable Isaiah Bojikere Elechi, JP. I write to inform you of the demise of Honorable Isaiah Bojikere Elechi on the 10th of January 2023. He represented Ikwere Emowa Federal Constituency of Rivers State in the House from 1979 to 1983. His remains shall be committed to Mother Earth on the 28th of October 2023. Thank you most sincerely for your kind consideration. The next announcement is coming from Honorable Yusuf Tanko Sununu, former Chairman, House Committee on Healthcare Services. And his message reads as follows. The Right Honorable Speaker, kindly recall my nomination by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, as member of his cabinet, and my successful screening by the Senate. I hereby submit letter of my resignation as a member of the 10th National Assembly. I want to use this opportunity to sincerely thank the Speaker of the House of Representatives for the opportunity given to me to serve as Chairman of Committee on Healthcare Services. My sincere thanks also go to the Deputy Speaker and the entire leadership of the 10th House. To my colleagues and friends, I thank everyone as I take another challenge at the executive arm. accept as always my assurance, esteemed regard. Yours faithfully, Honorable Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu. Another letter of resignation has been received also from Honorable Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, Member, House of Representatives, representing Akoko North-East, Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency of Ondo State. And his letter reads as follows. I write to formally tender my resignation as member representing Akoko North-East, Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency of Ondo State in the House of Representatives. My resignation is necessitated by my appointment as a minister of the government of our great country by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Our dear country is in dire need of collaborative and concerted efforts that would engender the much needed advancement to greater heights, and I've been elected to contribute my quota to achieve that enviable objective as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. While wishing Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues success in their onerous task of national development through legislative input, please accept the assurance of my highest regards. Honorable colleagues, these are the informations we have today, and on receipt of these two letters of resignations from Honorable Olubunmi Tunji Ojo and Honorable Yusuf Tanko Sununu, their positions have now been declared vacant. Thank you very much. Any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so. Yeah. Honorable Doctor. Oh.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I remain Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Sawaru, representing the good people of Orion Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a proud Benin chief from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from the United Patriots Assembly of Nigeria, ably signed by the National Facilitator, Ambassador Ayamekwe Edokpolo. Mr. Speaker, this petition to the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives on the profound need to stop the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security from fueling host community crisis and underdeveloping the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research by the Coalition of NIFOR Host Communities Organization, 22nd September 2023. I seek the leave of our Honorable Speaker to lay this upon the table.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Sihanvere, ON, DSSRS. I have a petition from a constituent, Godi Osa Ibakana, PhD, against the authorities of the Nigeria Police Academy, Wudil, Kano State, on what he calls injustice meted against him by the management of the academy. Mr. Speaker, I seek your permission to lay this petition.
Leader, are you done? Okay, please go ahead. Right, Honorable. Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Williams, take your seat, please.
Please go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name remains Dr. Ahmed Yinka Aluko, representing the entire people of Ilorin East, Ilorin South Federal Constituency of Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition against National Examination Council NECO for unlawful dismissal of one of my constituents. Mr. Speaker, I seek your indulgence to lay the petition before you, sir.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Doctor.
Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Dr. Patrick Kumar. I represent the people of Ikorekpene, Esienudim, Obodokara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition authored by E.E. Phillips Esquire. Mr. Speaker, it is titled Abuse of Police Powers, Threat to Life, and illegal disposal of Exhibit CER 505-2021. With your permission, Mr. Speaker, may I lay this before this Honorable House.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Right, Honorable? Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Nnamdi Ezechi is my name, representing Ndo-Kwa Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, this petition is coming from one of my constituents, Mr. Victor Ezechi, against one Assistant Superintendent of Police, Ogbegbe Usman, on constant dehumanization and brutalization and other innocent citizens of Kwale within Ndo-Kwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, kindly permit me to lay this petition.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? Yes.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. My name is Clement Jimbo. I represent the people of Abak, Etmekbo, and Ika Federal Constituency. I am from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to lay a petition. This petition is signed by 14 people across 5 different communities in Abak local government area. The petition is against the Nigerian Army Cantonment, 6th Battalion, Wellington Basi Barracks, Ibawa, Abak local government area, over an alleged wrongful acquisition of community land since 1972 without adequate compensation. Please, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, may I tender this petition before this honorable House.
Please go ahead. All petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petitions. Any member who has a matter of urgent public importance may rise to present, please. Honorable Jimmy.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Baba Jimmy Benson. I represent the very good people of the Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to crave the indulgence of the House to move a motion that affects 70% of the population of Nigeria, representing the youth demographics. The title of the motion, Mr. Speaker, is the need for justice and safeguarding the legacy of the late Ilerioluwa Oladimeji Aloba, aka Mohbad, who passed away under very questionable circumstances in Lagos. I crave the indulgence of this House to kindly approve, under Order 8 Rule 4, that the rules be suspended and that this matter be treated as urgent. I so request, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Any seconder to the first leg? The High Chief.
Honorable colleagues, please. Silence, please.
Eroyi Toby Thomas is my name. I represent the people of Warri South, Warri North, and Warri Southwest. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to second the motion ably moved by
My honorable colleague, I say second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Those who are in support that this motion is urgent enough should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Who will move for the second leg of the motion? The second leg of the motion, that this motion is urgent enough to be taken today. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Honorable Akin Alabi. I represent the good people of Egbeda Onara Federal Constituency of Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion that this motion is urgent enough to be taken right away. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those who are in support that this motion should be taken today should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Jimmy, please go ahead. Enough.
The House notes that the Nigerian music industry mourns the loss of the talented artist, popularly known as Mohbad, who tragically passed away under mysterious circumstances on Saturday, 12, 2023, and has continued to make headlines and dominate discussions across and beyond the nation. The House also notes that the heartfelt protest, a procession of youth chanting his name, and the call for an investigation as they marched to a tribute concert with numerous musicians in attendance. It is evident that Mohbad's fans are struggling to come to terms with his ultimate demise. Mohbad, also known as Imole, meaning light in Yoruba, was an artist who sang of peace and light. The House further notes that Mohbad left his record label, Malian Records, owned by Naira Marley in 2022, citing various grievances, including unpaid royalties. This issue is indicative of a broader problem in which artists encounter challenges and asserting their rights. The House is also aware that a disturbing industry practice has come to the fore. Evidence of mistreatment highlights the struggles of young artists who in their quest for success become entangled in parasitic contracts and face bullying when they seek to exit these contracts. The House is also concerned that Mohbad's case is not an isolated incident. Many artists throughout the length and breadth of Nigeria find themselves ensnared in unfavorable contractual agreements, limiting their creative freedom and financial growth. This situation can lead to disputes and at times even violence. The House is cognizant that the Nigerian music industry lacks substantial institutional funding, pushing many artists into unscrupulous contracts with record labels. Addressing this issue is vital for the industry's growth and sustainability. The House is also cognizant that the Nigerian Copyright Commission functions encompass copyright registration, law enforcement, education, royalty management, international collaboration, legal advocacy, policy development. Hence, they should be protecting copyright and promoting artists' interests in Nigeria. The House is further disturbed that most of the proceeds of the late artist are still going to the Malian Music Group, and there have been no moves from any agency to protect the estate of the late singer, who is currently the 46th best-selling digital artist in the world. Accordingly, and the prayers are up, the House urges the House to observe a 1-minute silence in honor of Mohbad and send a delegate to urges the House to observe a 1-minute silence. 2, monitor the ongoing investigation of Mohbad's death. particularly the allegations of harassment and unpaid royalties. Collaborate with stakeholders, including record labels, artists, legal experts, and industry associations to develop and implement industry-wide guidelines that ensure fair treatment, transparent contractual agreements, and proper compensation for artists. Reviewing existing copyright and contract laws in Nigeria, identifying gaps or areas in need of reform. Finally, mandate the Committee on Justice, Youth Development, and Legal Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move. Right Honorable Speaker.
Any comments? Honorable Dennis.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, the motion has not been seconded. I wanted to second it.
So sorry.
Yes.
Any seconder?
Okay, let me go ahead, sir. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Dennis Idahosa. I represent Ovia Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Okay, even though I called you to contribute, forgetting that we have not actually seconded. Now that we have seconded, any contribution? Okay, let's put it to vote first. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. I don't think because of the nature of the motion, it is self-explanatory. I think we don't need to actually debate on it, but we can go ahead and oblige to one of the prayers of the motion, which is to observe a minute silence. So may you all rise for a minute silence, please. May the soul of the departed rest in perfect peace. This motion is referred to the relevant committees as prayed by the mover. Any more motions on urgent, Honorable Pascal? Please go ahead. Doctor, how are you doing?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Pascal Abodike. I represent here the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 8 Rule 4 of the Standing Order of this Honorable House, I rise to move a motion of matter of urgent public importance. Urgent need to tackle life-threatening erosion in Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder to the first leg?
Honorable colleagues, please silence, please.
Honorable Jallo.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Hussein Mohammed Jallo, representing Igebe Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I hereby second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, those in support of this motion to be taken now should say aye. Those against should say nay. The nays have it.
Honorable colleagues, silence please. Honorable Governor, honorable colleagues, announcer, honorable colleagues, silence please. Honorable colleagues, please go back to your seats.
Honorable colleagues, honorable members, the first business of the day is presentation of 10 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Nigerian Medical Research Council Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission Act, Repeal and Enactment Bill 2023, first reading. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act, Amendment Bill 2023, first reading. Traditional Complementary and Alternative Medicine Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Agriculture, Uronibe, Edo State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal College of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Ikang, Cross River State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal University of Sports, Afuzi, Edo State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal School of Nursing and Midwifery, Sobe, Edo State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. Federal Medical Center, Sabongida Ora, Edo State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading. National Institute of Graphic Arts, Designs and Printing Technology, Shomolu, Lagos State Establishment Bill 2023, first reading.
Thank you, Clerk. The second business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committee to investigate alleged abuse of 2.3 trillion naira from the tertiary education tax by Tertiary Education Trust Fund from 2011 to date, standing in the name of Honorable Oluwale Oke. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 4 July 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Oke is hereby invited to present the report. Honorable Wale Oke, are you presenting on his behalf? So please go ahead.
Okay, it's okay now. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Unyime Idem, member representing Ukanafun, Orogonam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise on behalf of the chairman of the Ad hoc Committee, Honorable Woloke, to present a report of the Ad hoc Committee to investigate alleged abuse of 2.3 trillion naira from tertiary education tax by tertiary education trust fund, state fund, that the House do receive the report of the Ad hoc Committee to investigate alleged abuse of 2.3 trillion naira from the tertiary education tax by tertiary education trust funds, state funds, from 2011 to date. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Rabu?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleague, I rise to second a motion moved by my honorable colleague. My name is Honorable Mohammed Jamil Kazana, member representing Paskari Gangara Sabwa, Kasana State.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Please go ahead and submit. The third business of the day is presentation of a report of the Ad hoc Committee to investigate the decision of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria on medical and dental students studying in Ukraine, standing in the name of Honorable Emil Inyang. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 25th July 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Inyang is hereby invited to present the report. Honorable Inyang.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Dr. Emil Inyang. I represent the people of Akampa, BSF, Federal Constituency in Cross River State. I rise to present the motion on the report of the Ad hoc Committee set up by this House to investigate the decision of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to deny students studying in Ukraine recognitions of writing the qualifying exams in Nigeria. I so move.
Any seconder? Right, Honorable? Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Engineer Chijoke Okereke, representing the good people of Aniri Ogu Ojiriva Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I stand to second the motion of the report for the Medical and Dental Council from the Ad hoc Committee. I so second.
Honorable colleagues, those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. Has it been seconded? Has it been seconded? So please, can you come forward and submit the report, please? Colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Center Act to establish Federal Medical Center in Beju-Lekki, Lagos State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 27 July 2023. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time. The Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihonvere, Oman Federal Constituency, Edo State. I rise to move that the bill, that's your own bill. Oh. Okay. That the bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to establish Federal Medical Center in the Juleki, Lagos State, and for related matters, HB 160, be read a third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Leader, can you second?
Distinguished honorable colleagues, Abdullah Ibrahim Halims is my name. I am from Kogi State, representing the good people of Ankpa, Omalalam, Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by the majority leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support that this bill should be read the third time should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, can you please read the long title of the bill?
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to establish Federal Medical Center, Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos State, and for related matters. Third reading.
The bill is read the third time and passed. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish National Youth Welfare Scheme Fund to manage and coordinate youth welfare services to reduce challenges in governance and security in the country, and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Abbas Tajuddin. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 5th July 2023. Honorable colleagues, with your kind permission, I would want to step this bill until another time. Thank you. The third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of the bill for an act to amend the Act Authentication Act Cap A through laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, to provide the time frame for the performance of the functions of the clerks of the National Assembly and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Benjamin Okezi-Kalu and 6 other honorable members. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 5th July 2023, and now invite Honorable Kalu to move that the bill be now read for the second time. Honorable Kalu.
Your Excellency, the Speaker of the 10th Assembly, my principal, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, honorable colleagues, you are welcome back from your well-deserved recess. My name is Benjamin Okezi-Kalu. I represent the people of Nigeria, starting from Bende Federal Constituency and from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise on a bill for an act to amend the Act Authentication Act, Cap A2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to provide the time frame for the performance of functions of the clerk of the National Assembly and for related matters. This bill stands in the name of myself my principal, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, Honorable Ikawo Gochinyere, Ahmed Osman Jaha, Davison Kulawale, Regina Akume, and Patrick Umar. I move, Mr. Speaker, that this bill be read the second time. I so move.
Honorable Oga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Comrade Chinedu Oga OON. I represent Iko Ezasa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. I rise to second the motion moved by the Deputy Speaker. I hereby second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Kalu, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Your Excellency. But with your kind permission, Your Excellency, I would like to yield to one of the sponsors of the bill, Patrick Umar, to lead the debate. With your kind permission, sir.
Please go ahead.
The Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the people of Ikore-Ekpene, Esienudim, Oborokara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, the leave of this House, I rise to lead the debate on an act to amend the Acts Authentication Act, Cap A2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to provide a time frame for the performance of functions of the Clerk of the National Assembly and for other related matters. The Speaker, honorable colleagues, the Acts Authentication Act, Cap A2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, was enacted to provide for the authentication and recording of acts of the National Assembly. It also prescribed certain duties to be performed by the Clerk of the National Assembly in preparation for and including the presentation of bills to the President for his assent. The enactment took effect on the 1st of January 1962. The Extant Acts Authentication Act, Cap A2, Laws of the Federation, 2004, contains certain defects that hinder the timely transmittal of bills passed by the National Assembly to the President for his assent. Sections 2 and 3 of the Extant Acts Authentication Act task the Clerk of the National Assembly with the important duty of preparing and authenticating a clean copy of each bill passed by the National Assembly and presenting the schedule and copy of such bill to the President for his assent, respectively. However, it fails to prescribe an ascertainable time within which these duties must be carried out. This deficiency in the Acts Authentication Act has directly resulted in undue delays observed in the process of transmittals of bills passed by the National Assembly to Mr. President for his assent. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues will recall that Section 58, Sub 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as altered, provides that where a bill has been passed by the House in which it originated, it shall be sent to the other House, and it shall be presented to the President for assent. When it has been passed by the other House, an agreement has been reached between the two Houses on any amendment made on it. This is the basis for authentication of acts. This, read in conjunction with the provisions of the Acts Authentication Act, shows that there is no time frame given within which the Clerk of the National Assembly performs this specific function of ensuring that the certified true copy of bills gets to the President for his assent. If this is cured,
then we would be able to isolate the challenges related to the computation of 30 days required by the Section 58 sub 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as altered, within which the President is expected to signify that he assents or that he withholds his assent. If the timeline is fixed for transmittal of bills passed by the National Assembly, then it would be clear when to begin to count the 30 days within which the President would assent or withhold his assent. On the other hand, if transmittal time is not clearly specified, it becomes difficult to assess the time allowed for the President to assent. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the bill, which comprises 4 clauses, seeks to provide a time frame for the performance of the functions of the Clerk of the National Assembly under the Acts Authentication Act. It seeks to provide for 30 days within which the Clerk of the National Assembly must prepare a clean copy of the bill passed by the National Assembly and authenticate same. Amendment proposed to Section 2, Sub 1 of the Principal Act thereto, and to provide for 7 days within which the Clerk of the National Assembly must transmit the already authenticated bill to the President for his assent. This is an amendment proposed to Section 3 of the Principal Act. This will in turn mark the commencement of the counting of the 30 days required under Section 58 sub 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as altered, within which the President must assent or signify that he withholds his assent. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the office of the Clerk of the National Assembly has already been provided for by law. The Extant Act Authentication Act also prescribes the functions of the Clerk of the National Assembly. This bill only seeks to stipulate a time frame within which these lawful duties must be carried out, and as well to provide the Speaker of the House of Representatives with certain functions under the Act. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, our legislative system must be optimized to ensure that identified gaps in the entire legislative process are addressed. This 10th National Assembly must ensure that the legislative system is optimized such that the number of bills passed and not assented to will not be blamed in any way on the process of transmittal or confusion associated with it. I thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your support. While I count on your support. Thank you,
We'll
Mr.
take
Speaker.
one more contribution, if any. One more contribution, if there isn't, to put the question. Okay. Those who are in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Acts Authentication Act, Cap A2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, provide the time frame for the performance of the functions of the clerks of the National Assembly and for related matters. Second reading.
The clerk, this bill is now referred to the Committee on Justice. The fourth order of the day is a motion on the need to curb the unethical practices and abuse associated with assisted reproductive health technology in Nigeria, standing in the names of Honorable Babajimi Benson. Honorable Benson is hereby invited to move the motion.
Let me put down. Okay. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I got to my office today, Right Honorable Speaker, and I looked up. I saw the photo of our President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I looked left and I saw your face. And I saw a face that epitomized our renewed hope. Mr. Speaker, I looked at your photo in my office today, and I saw your photo, and I saw a face that epitomized the renewed hope. The renewed hope. The renewed hope. I remain Baba Jimmy Benson, Ikorodu Federal Constituency. I rise to move my motion titled "The Need to Curb the Unethical Practices and Abuse Associated with Assisted Reproductive Health Technology in Nigeria." The House notes that the utilization of assisted reproductive techniques and referrals to fertility centers has witnessed a notable surge in Nigeria, especially since the advent of the new millennium. The House also notes that the fertility industry has emerged as a thriving industry estimated to be worth $1 billion, with private and public hospitals across the country engaged in the practice. The House recognized that the practice is providing an alternative avenue for establishing pregnancies and parenthood. The House also recognized that the ART procedures entail surgical extractions of eggs from a woman's ovaries, fusion of same with sperm in the laboratory settings, and subsequent reintegration into the donor's body or transfer to a woman or storage in an egg bag. The House is worried that women undergo surgical egg retrieval, relinquishing control over the eggs obtained between 100,000 naira to 150,000 naira per retrieval, with 5 to 6 eggs extracted per month. The House is also worried about the widespread practice of terming this process as donation, while in reality, desperate women of childbearing age are coerced through target marketing to sell their eggs with potentially adverse effects on their future reproductive health and overall well-being. The House is alarmed by the fact that fertility centers have capitalized on the absence of a suitable regulatory framework to exploit providers, donors, and potentially engage in the trade of donated eggs. Cognizant that if this trend is not urgently checked, it will lead to an increase in cases of infertility and cancer infections among young donors and surrogates, as well as promoting exploitative practices. The House resolves to mandate the House Committee on Health Institutions to investigate cases of unethical exploitative practices in egg procurement and surrogacy by fertility hospitals and clinics and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Any seconder? The chairman of the youth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for always considering the youth. I remain Olamiju Ayodeji Alawa Kala. I hereby rise this afternoon. I represent Nigerians from Ogbomoso North, South, and Orire Federal Constituency. I hereby rise this afternoon to support the motion as ably moved by my senior brother and leader, Jimmy Benson. Thank you so much. I hereby second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Jimmy, do you want to add flesh to it, or you're okay? It's self-explanatory. Okay. So this motion is referred to amendments. Honorable Doctor, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Dr. Bashiru Dawudu. I represent Oshodi, Isolo, Constituency 1. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Lagos State. My first amendment states that under prayers, 1, mandate the Committee on Health, committees on health, which should include the health institutions, services, and the specialty care. And then also to produce a comprehensive framework for regulating assisted productive technology, which is the ART, because that encompasses what Honorable Benson was trying to put across.
Please, can you craft your prayer?
Yes, I have it. My prayer is 1, mandate the committees on health, institutions, services, and specialist care to produce a comprehensive framework for regulating assisted reproductive technology, ART, in Nigeria, including ensuring informed consent, appropriate compensation, and safeguarding the well-being of the providers and donors. Amendment 2, also mandate the committees on health.
Hello?
Yes.
You have 2 amendments?
Yes, sir.
Or to amending which one? This time around?
The first one. The first one.
You amended the first one?
Yes.
And which one are you now going to amend again?
The second prayer.
The second prayer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. We'll take the 2 together.
Also mandate the committees on health, institutions, services, and specialist care. Just that first sentence. That's it, sir. To investigate cases of unethical and exploitative practices in egg procurement and surrogacy by fertility hospitals and clinics, and report back within 4 weeks for further legislation. And there's a third amendment, sir.
So we are changing the whole prayers
of
the mover.
It's amendment, sir.
Go ahead, go ahead.
The third amendment
it's up to you and the people and the members if they will see it your own way.
Mandate
go ahead.
The Ministry of Health and the Nigerian Medical and Mental Council to ensure the standard of care in the interim. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. There are 3 prayers amended. So anyone in support who will second this? Honorable Doctor.
Thank you, our leader, the Right Honorable Speaker of the 10th Assembly, my dear respected colleagues. I remain Honorable Abia Musa Aga. I represent Jos North Bassa Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion for amendments ably proposed by my dear colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
So, honorable colleagues, you know, ideally we're supposed to take each amendment one after the other, but because of time constraint, we are going to put the question for the 3 amendments as proposed by Honorable Doctor. Those in support of these 3 amendments, 3 prayers, should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. No, go back to your seat to walk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Benila. I represent Langtang North and South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of all Nigerian women, I want to thank Honorable Baba Jimmy Benson this motion will definitely go a long way in protecting the health and the reproductive life
Honorable
of women.
Benny, are you
My amendment,
crafting a
Mr.
prayer
Speaker,
or just sending a commendation?
Mr. Speaker, my amendment is on prayer 1. You know, we all know that human rights.
Prayer 1 has been amended, so you want to further amend it.
Yes, I want to add the Committee on Human Rights.
Let
because
me be guided by the
right
chairman
to human
rules.
dignity, Mr. Speaker, the right to human dignity and the right to life is a fundamental human right. And so the Committee on Human Rights should be involved. Thank you.
So what is your addition to the amendment?
A comprehensive framework, etc., for the House Committee on Human Rights to be included.
Okay, any seconder to this additional amendment to prayer 1? Any seconder? Honorable Fred.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues. Agbedi Yetimene Frederick is my name. I represent Sagbama Krema Federal Constituency. It's Uncle Man from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion amending prayer 1 as moved by my colleague, Honorable Benila. I so second, Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues.
Those in support of this additional amendment, which is unusual, should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. So those in support of this motion as another amendment? Okay. Please go ahead, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to amend the amended prayer 1 by seeking that the prayer be deleted. The reason being that we lack powers to craft regulatory framework for agencies of government under Section 4 of the Constitution, where we draw our powers from. And Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the mover of the motion realized this and actually stepped down prayer 1. So I will move that we delete prayer 1 completely, sir. I so move.
Please, can you come again, Leader? What do you want to be deleted?
Mr. Speaker, I seek to amend the prayer by asking that prayer 1 be deleted. Prayer 1 as amended be deleted. The reason being that we cannot craft regulatory framework for agencies of government under Section 4 of the Constitution, where we draw our powers from.
Any seconder to this amendment? You will not be negating what you approved earlier. So any seconder? Honorable colleague? Any seconder? Honorable Ibrahim?
Liu, member representing Urno Raba, Federal Constituency from Sokoto State. I rise to second the amendment ably moved by Honorable Leader. Thank you.
So, honorable colleagues, you may recall that you amended this prayer 1, and we now have another amendment seeking to nullify the whole entire prayer 1 completely. So those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. So, honorable colleagues, this motion is hereby, those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is referred to the Committee on Health Institutions. And what are the other prayers? All the health committees, and which other one? Human rights. Even though we have reservation as to the inclusion of human rights, But since the amendment has been moved and the members have obliged, we have no choice but to also include it. Thank you so much. The fifth order of the day is a motion on the investigation into the collection and disbursement of stamp duties revenue in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Mansur Manu Soro. Honorable Soro is hereby invited to move the motion. Honorable Mansur, is he around?
Thank you,
Mr.
Right
Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Mansur Manu Soro, member representing the Arazu Ganjwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Bauchi State. I rise this afternoon to move a motion on the investigation into the collection and disbursement of stamp duties revenue in Nigeria. The House notes that stamp duty is a tax payable in respect of dutiable instruments such as contracts, agreements, and receipts as provided under the Stamp Duties Act 2004. The House also notes that stamp duties revenue is being collected by the commercial banks and the Federal Area Revenue Service on behalf of the Federation. The House is also aware that the new formula for the distribution of stamp duties revenue allocates 15% to the federal government
Otumba.
and the Federal Capital Territory.
Honorable Falake, I beg. You are making a lot of noise there, please. I beg you.
The House is aware that the new formula for the distribution of stamp duties revenue allocates 15% to the federal government and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and 85% to the states of the Federation. The House is also aware that Section 52 of the Finance Act 2021 expanded the scope of the Stamp Duty Act to cover electronic transactions, which is tagged the Electronic Money Transfer Levy. The House is informed that the Central Bank of Nigeria, through the then Governor Godwin Emefiele, in December 2022, admitted to the collection of 370.68 billion naira as stamp duties revenue between the year 2016 and 2022. The House is concerned about the past experience of disagreements between the states and the federal government on the distribution of stamp duties revenue that resulted into litigation. The House is cognizant of the fact that Finance Act 2021 has provided for the distribution of stamp duties revenue collected within 30 days from the month of collection. The House is disturbed about the seeming lack of adequate information relating to the collection and distribution of the revenue, as well as the lack of effective implementation of the provisions of the Finance Act. The House is resolved to set off an ad hoc committee to investigate the extent of the collection of stamp duties revenue and its distribution to the beneficiaries, which is the 36 states of the Federation. The House also mandated that this committee to be set up should report back within 4 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? My right honorable, I can't see the face, the yellow Babariga. Oh, it's Isiaka. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much.